How's it going, everybody? I've got some more Magic for you today with probably one of the best decks in Standard right now since the bans. Today I'll be using Golgari SelfMill. This deck got some absolutely fantastic additions with the Final Fantasy set. We got Town Greeter, which is huge. It allows you to mill and put things into your graveyard while getting yourself back specifically land. We have X-Death Void Warlock and Neo X-Death Dimensions End. This, I will say, is one of the more restrictive cards in the deck, being a 3 mana cost always. However, its power is, when it transforms into Neo X-Death, is always going to be the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. Note that I said permanent cards, not creature cards, which is huge, because we do have things like Herd Heirloom, which is an artifact, and all of your land count as permanents as well. So any of that ends up in the graveyard counts toward this creature's power, and you gain 3 life whenever it's played. It does transform whenever there are 6 or more permanents in your graveyard, so it transforms on your turn at the end step if that is the case. Very, very good card. And then we also got Diamond Weapon, and its spell cost is reduced as well by the number of permanent cards in your graveyard, not creature cards, which is fantastic. It prevents all damage that would be dealt to it, so it ignores Death Touch, it ignores things like Screaming Nemesis. Really, really fantastic card. And it has Reach, which is huge too, and it's an artifact, so it can't be hit by Go for the Throat. Now, ignoring all of those, we did lose Up the Beanstalk, which was a really, really important draw mechanic for this deck. All I've done is replace the Up the Beanstalks with Hollow Marauders, because this card is already fantastic for this deck. It synergizes very, very well, and it draws you a card. Yes, it is only 1 card on the turn that you play it, and it's not guaranteed. Your opponent could discard something with a mana value of 4 or greater. I still think it's fine. We also do have, as I said, Herd Heirloom in this deck, which allows you to draw and give trample to anything with higher than 4 power, which is the majority of the deck. Souls of the Lost will more often than not count for it. X-Death will more often than not count for it. Then we've got Harvester of Misery, which will have more than 4 power. Overlord of the Balemark, which will have more than 4 power. Hollow Marauder, which has 4 power. We've got Hulkbuster Swarm, which has more than 4 power, and Diamond Weapon, which has more than 4 power. The only creature in the base deck here that has Trample is Neo X-Death and X-Death, so being able to give Trample to all of our other creatures, just fantastic. And even if your opponent is running Graveyard Hate and starts killing your creatures in Graveyard, things like that, this still gets decreased by creatures in exile as well, so this still gets reduced. And yeah, just in general, this deck is really, really hard to combat. We also have a really good sideboard, Haywire Mites to kill artifacts and enchantments, Keen-Eyed Curator as an answer to graveyard decks. We've got another Harvester of Misery if you need it, Maelstrom Pulse if you're playing up against a lot of token decks, things like that most likely. Terror Tide is also really good for that sort of thing. You need to wipe the board, this will hit it for a lot. We've got Scrap Shooter, also really good for artifact and enchantment hate, and Quasi Revenant if you need life gain and flying. All of a sudden now you can hit with a X-Death that has like 20 power and flies and has lifelink and trample, so very, very good. I'm not going to keep talking about it. This deck is fantastic. This is the version of it that I've been running. I've been loving it in ranked. It's super effective. The bans made it even better, honestly. Yes, it took away the Up the Beanstalk, but this deck is just really, really good. So it's probably one of the best standard decks right now. I'm going to go ahead and play best of 1, though I do usually play this deck in best of 3. See if I can't get 3 wins for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. Okay, our opponent goes first, which is no fun, but we've got great options here already. Good land, Gnawing Vermin's fine. It's actually a really good choice when you have land in hand already because you're not feeling as bad about losing land. And Souls of the Lost is good for just dropping something into our graveyard if we want. Drew another land, which is a little bit less than ideal, but that's fine. Hopefully next we can drop a creature that we would like to get into the graveyard. cut down's fine. That actually just goes towards making our things cheaper by getting an extra creature in our graveyard. So these are already 2 costs now. Getting a lot of land, so I'm going to go ahead and pitch a land at this point. Just get rid of the Verge. So the Souls of the Lost is already a 4/5, and if they get it in the graveyard, it doesn't matter. At this point, anything that isn't land off the top of our deck is just gas for us. Anoint the Affliction's actually a good choice for that. Won't work on most of our deck. Diamond Weapon's pretty cool. Can't do much with it yet, because it's still a 5 cost for right now, but that's fine. We're already almost a 5 mana, actually. We're on 3. With a 4th in hand. Okay, Quag Feast gets rid of that really easily. Not Quag Feast, I'm sorry. Overwhelming Remorse. We do have Quag Feast in the sideboard, though. Just as a one-of. So this is obviously a mono black demons deck. They're going to be using Unholy Annex for sure. Got rid of nothing because they misclicked. That's pretty hilarious. Go ahead and just pass here. I'm not overly in a hurry. We could throw down an X-Death, get one more thing in our graveyard, gain 3 more life, but it's just not necessary. I'm going to go ahead and remorse this. Just get it out of my face. Got another land, which isn't ideal, but we might be able to... I really want that Marauder, so I'm actually going to keep that on top, even though we could go ahead and get Diamond Weapon out. But I really want the card draw we're going to get from Marauder, so I want to keep that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and Marauder. Get a discard from our opponent. Got an Overlord, which is pretty nice. We can block their demon now if they decide to attack. We're pretty much looking good here. Yeah, we don't have anything for you to duress. Sorry for you. This is our win. The only thing they could have had that would have got them back into this is Unholy Annex, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and pin to this, see what we can get. What do I want? Honestly, I think I want the Hulkbuster. And then let's go ahead and play Diamond Weapon for 2, because it's never going to get cheaper than that. And then attack in with our Marauder here, because now we have a different blocker for the demon. And X-Death should transform for us now as well. Okay, Unstoppable Slasher, which is very easy for us to just ignore if I'm being totally honest. Let's go ahead and get Herd Heirloom going. I'm gonna go Souls of the Lost here. Yeah, they're totally dead. There's literally nothing they can do. Alright, our opponent goes first, which is a little sad. Land looks great, though. Got a Maverick, which is pretty good. Probably start with the Mortuary and see if we can't get a creature to dump in the graveyard. So I'm pretty fine with this opening hand. We'll have to try and work a little bit to get it discounted, but that's fine. Maybe we'll get lucky and get another 1-drop in these next few cards, so that we can do like 2 1-drops on turn 2. Got a Llanowar Elf from our opponent. Pretty much the best thing you could throw out right now. I'll take the Vermin so that we can do 2 1-drops on turn 2. Normally I probably would have pitched that just to make things discounted, but it's going to discount more than just 1 if I let it stay. So, go here, go ahead and start with the Maverick. Probably should have done Maverick second, actually. Let's just go ahead and get everything in graveyard. Get things discounted as much as possible here. Some of those were really nice cards I would have liked to get. The land, the Overlord, the Souls of the Lost. This would have been nice too, even though we can't cast it yet. Anything that he attacks with is just a benefit for us, honestly. So I really don't think he should attack. Getting these in the graveyard is my top priority at the moment. Yeah, did not attack. No surprise, no big deal. Gonna go ahead and pass and just hold up the removal, which is totally fine. Again, ideally, we honestly want him to attack here, so... Whenever a creature attacks another target creature you control gets +X/+X and trample until end of turn, where X is the number of, or is this creature's power. Okay, so we'll just exile that. And then do these. I'm going to be taking 5 still, but that's fine. More than 5 even, I'm sorry. I did want to kill the Llanowar Elf, so it's sad that that didn't work out. I thought getting rid of that creature would have made that not happen, but that's fine. Some of our things are cheaper now. What do we want to do here? Could go with a Marauder. Would be our only play for turn. Does look like our only real option, though, so let's draw. Maybe we'll get a land or something. Okay. They discarded something actually high enough mana, so we didn't get a card draw. Getting rid of our creature is actually a good thing for us, so I don't mind that. We did get a land here. I think we're going to have to go with Diamond Weapon and hold on to it for now. See what comes next. Diamond Weapon will be a rough one to get rid of. Okay, let's go ahead and surveil. It's a land, which I just don't want, sadly. Definitely need to get this down as a good blocker. Really had a rough time of getting things into our graveyard this time, actually. One counters on that creature doesn't really bother us at all. Town Greeter's nice. We can finally get something going here, maybe. Did get a land. We'll go ahead and get that going. Play the Swarm. Get our Marauder going. Nice, okay. Best case scenario for us here actually is going to be attacking with this Hulkbuster, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We want them to block, I don't know if they will, but that means that's damage they can't trample over onto us. Is it sacrifice any permanent as one of the options? Let's see. Discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. Yeah, so we can get rid of land if we want to with that. Looks like our opponent may be deciding to rope us here. We'll see how the rest of this match plays out. They have a tiny goblin and a little beetle. No attacks. Ooh, Herd Heirloom is really nice. Let's go ahead and do Souls of the Lost, getting rid of this land. We lose a lot of our good blocking potential if I do this. But I think it's worth it, because they're going to need to block or die. The only things they can block, they have to double block, so that's fine. Let's go here so we can get card draw, kill all 3 of those. Opponent is now at 4. Not the worst card draw, so let's go ahead and see what we get there. We've got 2 good blockers. I think X Death's what we gotta go with here, because it will heal us a little bit if we get it down. Beetle got a little bigger. I'm gonna go here, here, and here, making sure to block the tramplers. Even if the thing that doesn't have trample somehow gets it, we're fine. And our opponent's just dead. Unless they can deal 7 damage to us through non-combat damage right now somehow. Alright, so unfortunately, Fluffy did decide to be a salty little baby and roped us out there at the end, but you guys can see where this went. Also, obviously, thankfully for you guys, I have the magic of editing, so you guys didn't have to sit through that. But, yeah. On the next attack, we were going to win. Opponent was at 4 life. They took a desperation swing there at the end and then decided to rope us out. But, you know, there's 2 wins consecutively, in fact. Like, this deck is super, super good. A tier, if not S tier. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a 3rd win real quick. Alright, we get to go first, which is pretty nice. We don't have any really good ways of filling our graveyard. I'm actually going to mulligan this. This is actually quite a bit better. I think I'm going to pitch the Hulkbuster for now. We've got some really good options here for filling our graveyard, so let's go with that. It's a land, but it's a land I don't want, so I'm going to pitch it. Okay. We are going to go ahead and go here with a Blooming Marsh, go Herd Heirloom. Let's go with Rubble Belt first so that we can choose what we're putting in the graveyard. Rubble Belt can go. I want the Overlord, so we'll take that. Storm Chaser's Talent. I really feel like this is still one of the cards that should have been banned. Totally fine with the opponent milling us. I mean, we didn't get the Overlord, unfortunately, but they're just helping us, really. And if they bounce anything back to our hand, that's totally fine, too. Sleep Magic? Yeah, I don't care. Keep milling me, bud. Nice. Okay. Unfortunately, we did get land, but let's go ahead here. I'm gonna go creature for now. I'm going to mill the opponent because they're helping me mill myself, so I don't think I need to go excessive on that. Just not going to end well. Let's go ahead and end here. River Churn Monument, which is fine. Like I said, everything they're doing is just helping us for now. No attacks from the opponents, no surprise. Seed of Hope from us. I am absolutely going to take the rat. Go ahead and go here. We'll throw down the rat so that we can get some more mill on our opponent here. Just to give them a taste of their own medicine a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and go here. I'll just get rid of my Maverick. I was thinking about being a little cheeky and getting rid of a mouse, but it's fine. Again, if they want to keep milling us, I don't care. It's only going to be a problem once there's enough for me to not be able to draw. Obviously, we would prefer nothing to happen to our Souls of the Lost here.
Surrender your mind to Phyrexia's will.
Okay, Millime's still totally fine.
I will shatter your mind.
I now have a 23-24 creature that I can give trample to, so that's totally fine. And we win. Good job. Thanks for milling us, guys. Alright, so there's 3 easy wins, all consecutive. Obviously, in this moment, the opponent just decided to help me kill them. They could have survived, right? Maybe? Yeah, they could have been at like 1. I was going to put these on like my rats or something, though, just so that I could make sure that I had a few less things in the graveyard. So let's see, I had 25 cards in my graveyard. Or 26 cards in my graveyard, 25 in library. If I remove these 2, then they wouldn't actually be able to mill me out unless they did something plus this. So yeah, they were kind of just dead either way. But anyway, that's a moment where these Rebel Belt Mavericks actually are really coming in handy, because I can remove them from my graveyard. But anyway, 3 easy games. This deck's ridiculously good. Not every opponent's going to help you do the thing, but when they do, it's nice. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you guys like this.